Today, I am discussing on the topic of nutrition and basic food groups part 1. To begin with, I would like to talk a few words about food. Food is the basic necessity of life. Food furnishes the body with the energy required for all human activities. It provides materials required for the building and renewal of body tissues and the substances that aid to regulate body processes. The chemical components of food which performs these functions are called nutrients. The process by which the body utilizes the nutrients is called nutrition. Food, nutrition and health are intimately connected aspects of our life. In this session, we will learn about the definitions of food, nutrition and other related terms as well as some important aspects of food. Now, coming to the definition of food. Food may be considered as the composite of those substances which are consumed by the humans for growth, sustenance and reproduction. The term food can therefore be defined as something which is eaten or drunk by the human beings or something we eat or can be utilized by our body. Food may also be defined as anything eaten or drunk which meets the needs for energy, building, regulation and protection of the body. In short, food is the raw material from which our bodies are made. Intake of right kinds and amounts of food can ensure good nutrition and health, which may be evident in our appearance, efficiency and emotional well-being. About nutrition. Nutrition is the science of foods, the nutrients and other substances, their function, interaction and balance in relationship to health and disease, the processes by which the organism ingests, digests, absorbs, transports and utilizes nutrients and disposes the end products. In addition, nutrition is concerned with social, economic, cultural and psychological implications of food and eating. Nutrition is therefore a sum total or combination of different processes by which we utilize food. Pike and Brown in 1984 defined it as a science that interprets the relationship of food to the functioning of living organism. It includes the uptake of food, liberation of energy, elimination of waste, and all the process of synthesis essential for maintenance, growth, and reproduction. Now, nutrients. Nutrients are the constituents in food that must be supplied to the body in suitable amounts. These are chemical substances obtained from food and used in the body to provide energy, structural materials, and regulating agents to support growth, maintenance, and repair of body's tissue. Regarding health, health is defined by the World Health Organization (WHO) as the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not purely the absence of disease and infirmity. About malnutrition, malnutrition means an undesirable kind of nutrition leading to ill health. It includes both undernutrition and overnutrition. Undernutrition is a state of insufficient supply of essential nutrients to the body. Overnutrition, the result of excessive intake of nutrients which disturbs normal body function. Now let's come to the function of food. Food serves a number of functions in our lives. Let us discuss how food serves in our lives. Physiological function of food. One of the most important functions of food is that of building the body. It helps to maintain the structure and to replace worn-out cells of the body. The second function is to provide energy for sustenance, work, and other activities. The third function of food is to regulate activities of the body. The fourth function is to improve our body's resistance to disease. The social functions of food. Food is used to celebrate specific stages of life, festivals, and religious functions, expression of love, friendship, and social acceptance. The psychological functions of food. Food is used to satisfy emotional needs such as security, love, and attention. In the community, sharing of food is a token of friendship and acceptance. Now let's look at the nutrients supplied by food. The foods we use daily include rice, wheat, dal, vegetables, fruits, milk, eggs, fish, meat, sugar, butter, oils, etc. These different foods are made up of a number of chemical components called nutrients. Each nutrient class has its own function, but the various nutrients must act in unison for effective action. Let us look at the classes of nutrients. Nutrients in food can be grouped into 6 classes. These include carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and water. Let us discuss how each of these nutrients is important to us. Now, carbohydrates. Carbohydrates make up the bulk of our diet. Carbohydrates contain the element carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Now, functions of carbohydrates. They are our chief source of energy. Each gram of carbohydrates supplies 4 kilocalories of energy to the body. Carbohydrates also help in the utilization of protein and fats. Certain carbohydrates have special role in the body. Lactose aids the absorption of calcium. Ribose, a 5-carbon sugar, is part of the important compounds DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, and RNA, that is ribonucleic acid. Now, food sources of carbohydrates. The main sources of carbohydrates in the diet are starch and sugar. Starch is found in plant seeds such as cereals and pulses, and roots and tubers. Sugar is found in fruits, honey, plant juice such as sugarcane and sugar beet, and in vegetables such as corn and peas. Now, dietary fiber. Fiber is also an essential component of our diet. Cellulose, hemicelluloses, and pectins, which are components of the skins of fruits, covering of seeds, and structural parts of edible plants, are usually referred to as fiber. Fiber is not digestible and do not contribute any nutrients to the body. It is essential for producing the feeling of fullness when we eat, elimination of intestinal waste, stimulates peristaltic or rhythmic movements of the gastrointestinal tract by absorbing water and thus adding bulk to the intestinal contents, reducing the risk of colon cancer, stabilizing blood sugar level. The food sources of fiber: whole grain cereals, whole wheat flour, fruits, vegetables, legumes, and beans. Now, lipids. Lipids, that is fats and oils. Lipids, like carbohydrates, are composed of the elements carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and some contain phosphorus and nitrogen. When compared to carbohydrates, fats contain a less percentage of oxygen and more of hydrogen, and consequently on oxidation yield more energy. They furnish more than twice the number of calories per gram furnished by carbohydrates or proteins. Each gram of oil or fat supplies 9 kilocalories of energy. Now, functions of fats and oils. Oils and fats are concentrated sources of energy, carriers of fat-soluble vitamins, and a source of essential fatty acids. The subcutaneous layer of fat helps to conserve body heat. Fats act as cushion and protect vital organs of the body. And food sources. Vegetables oils include those extracted from groundnut, sesame, mustard, safflower, cottonseed, coconut, and butter and ghee are animal fats extracted from milk. These food sources contribute visible fat in our dietary. Nuts and oilseeds and animal foods such as milk, eggs, fish, and meat are sources of hidden fat in the dietary. Now, proteins. Proteins are one of the major nutrients found in plant and animal foods. Proteins, like fats and carbohydrates, contain the elements carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. In addition, proteins contain about 16% nitrogen, which is their feature distinguishes them from carbohydrates and fats. Functions of proteins. Proteins are the major source of building material for the body. They play an important role as structural constituents of cellular membranes and maintenance and repair of body tissues, synthesis of regulatory and protective substances such as enzymes, hormones, and antibodies. Protein, when taken in excess of the body's need, is converted to carbohydrates and fats and is stored in the body. And food sources. Meat, fish, poultry, eggs, milk, and milk products are good sources of protein foods from animal sources. Pulses, cereals, nuts, and seeds are also good sources of proteins. Now, vitamins. Vitamins are accessory nutrients. They are required in very small amounts and must be provided in the diet because many of them cannot be manufactured by the body. The fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K and the water-soluble vitamins B-complex vitamins and vitamin C are found in foods. Functions of vitamins. They are required for the proper utilization of the bulk food of the diet, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and for the maintenance of good health. Vitamins are important for their regulatory and protective functions. Now, food sources. Green leafy vegetables, pulses, nuts, and cereal grains are good sources of most vitamins. Animal foods like milk, eggs, or meat are good sources of water-soluble vitamins except vitamin C. Minerals. Mineral elements form an important group of nutrients. Some minerals like calcium, phosphorus, iron, magnesium, and sulfur are required in large quantities, while others like zinc, copper, iodine, manganese, cobalt, etc. are required in small quantities. Functions of minerals. Minerals are necessary for bodybuilding, building of bones, teeth, and structural parts of soft tissues. They also play a role in regulation of processes in the body, for example, muscular contraction, transmission of nerve impulse, clotting of blood, etc. Food sources. Fruits, vegetables, and cereals are the chief sources of the mineral elements in the diet. Milk products supply the majority of the calcium and phosphorus in the diet. Then water. Water is not a food, but since it is ordinarily consumed in the diet, it is included as one of its components. The functions of water. It is an ideal medium for transporting dissolved nutrients and waste throughout the body. Water is required by the body to maintain electrolyte balance and temperature. Then food sources. A major part of our need for water is made by the water we drink. Other sources include beverages such as tea, coffee, fruit drinks, and juices. Now, let us see what is basic food groups and the purpose of developing basic food groups. No single food contains adequate amounts of all essential nutrients. A balanced diet is that which supplies all the essential nutrients in adequate amounts and in biologically available forms. In order to simplify the concept of a balanced and adequate diet for normal individuals, foodstuffs have been arranged into 4 groups, each of which makes a major contribution to the diet. It is recommended that some food from each group be taken daily as specified below. Number 1. Milk group. For children, 3 or more to 50 ml glasses. Smaller servings for some children under 9 years of age. For teenagers, 4 or more glasses. For adults, 2 or more glasses. Cheese, ice cream, and other milk products can supply part of the milk recommended. And number 2. Meat group. 2 or more servings of meat, fish, poultry, eggs, or cheese. Dry beans, peas, and nuts are alternatives, although they cannot substitute entirely for meat, fish, poultry, or eggs. And number 3. Vegetables and fruits. 4 or more servings, including some dark green or yellow vegetables, citrus fruits, or tomatoes. And 4. Breads and cereals. 4 or more servings of enriched or whole grain breads and cereals. To conclude the discussion, food is that substances which, when ingested, serves the body to provide energy, supplies material for growth, maintenance of life-enhancing metabolic processes, reproduction, repair and replacement of worn-out tissues. Foods not only satisfy nutritional needs, but its usage has social, economic, cultural, and psychological significance. So, to provide adequate diet for normal individuals, one must include sufficient quantities of a wide variety of foods from available foods or basic food groups.